Hello, anybody? All right. I think we're on now, guys. Hi, Sharon. How are you? I had the other one all set up where it was vertical like I wanted it. And my computer crashed and burned. Wouldn't let me go online so I could see a chat. And now I'm back to horizontal. Can't win for losing sometimes. So today we're going to look at wrapping these little oddball rectangles. We're taking and calling them sticks, but they're different little pieces. They're all drilled straight through the top, across the top, however you want to put it. I can see the chat now. I finally got my computer straightened up. So if anybody's out there, just say hi. So I've got some rhodonite, I've got some preonite, I've got some calcite, and a bunch of amethyst. Some of the amethyst is very, very light purple, but it's all, it's all amethyst. A couple of them are getting real close to being like that one. That one is pretty much purple is gone, so that is now a piece of quartz. There's a slight, I don't know if you can see it, there's a slight bit of purple in there, but not much. Hey Dwayne, I saw your, why is my chat not showing up correctly on? I see you. Anyway, Dwayne, I saw you on the other video and I appreciate you being there and ready to go. I need to go to live chat. There we go. Now I can see you. I am not a technological person at all. You're looking for some inspiration. Now, I don't know what kind of rocks you've got, or wire, or tools, but I didn't know what to do. So I asked, and one of my friends said that I should do these stick things, so I'm going to do these. Well, I'm not really all that worried about that, Sharon. And look, here we go. Stupid thing changed back to chat. There. My computer is not being friendly today. So, Dwayne, what kind of rocks do you have? You said you've watched, I saw in the other comments, you said you watched other of my videos. You have one on the table just like mine. Cool. So you've been watching my other lives, or you've been watching my tutorials? I ran out of allergy medicine this week. I was was in the truck for 2 weeks straight and didn't bring enough allergy medicine. So I developed a cough. And I'm medicated now, but the cough is not completely gone away and my voice is a little rougher than normal. All right, so I have on my table, I've got some 20 gauge silver wire. I've got some 20 gauge gold wire. This is dead soft wire, and I've got some, what is this? I got some 24 gauge gold for some of the little bitty ones. So I am going to be cutting off, I don't know, let's start with the rhodonite. Do we want to do, no, I want to do gold on rhodonite. We'll start with this big ol' amethyst here. I'm going to get, probably more than I need, 18 inches or so of wire. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming. Not sure what kind of inspiration I can bring you, but hey, glad to have you here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my normal bail for these. These are very versatile stones, really. You can do all kinds of things with them. Just making my bail. All kinds of designs can be ran through them. Loops and swirls, and I haven't done a tutorial on stones that are drilled across the top yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So you're getting a preview. So we're going to use this one. Let's move the rest of these out of the way. So there's really a couple of ways you can do these stones that are drilled across the top like this. You can put your bail on top and run a wire through so that it sits like this, with the wire coming in from the side. If the hole is big enough, you can come in from the side with both wires, and in this case it is. But this becomes tricky because now you want your bail to be around back, so you have to either measure or gauge where your bail is going to come out. You can also, if the hole is too small, you can run one wire through here. Now, my bail looks like it's a decent spot, but my bail is pointed the wrong way, so we're just going to bend him up here like that. So this is what it looks like from the back. This is what it looks like from the front. And as we can see, I am not centered. So I need a little more wire to come out of that hole. So we'll just straighten this up a little bit. And we'll bring it back around again. And just keep doing that until the bail is where you want it, which most normally is in the center. So now we've got this bail back here, but it's not really hanging on to anything. So we're going to take this wire and we're going to go through here, right in front of it, like so. Just mangle it around and get it where it needs to be. And then we're going to bring our wire down. And now we have our bails in the middle. And it is reinforced. The problem you'll get with not reinforcing it this way is that later on you're going to come up and you're going to scarf it or do whatever your ends are going to do. And if you don't have something pulling it this way and that way, then the bale's going to move around on you and be floppy. And we don't like floppy bales. Now for me, I'm just going to bring this down, I think. And we're going to bring it right up here. And I'm just going to do a series of loops here. Maybe I didn't do enough wire. We'll see. It would not be, hi Carly Stone, would not be the first time I had to cut wire off because I didn't give myself enough to do the job. Now I've got just enough, I think, to go ahead and come back here and scarf it. Just enough. I would have liked to have done one more loop, but I do not have enough wire to do that. So that loop got a little wonky on me. So now that I've got this wire locked in up here and it's not going anywhere, I can make any adjustments I want to make. I don't like where that loop is laying, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to twist this over a little bit. There. Now, other than the fact that it's up in the air, I've got these nylon pliers. I use them to squish my loops down. There we go. That's better. Now, by bending this here, I was able to move my loop, and I've tightened it up, which I need to come up and do with this one as well because it's a little loose. Well, thank you, Carly Stone. How are you doing today? There we go. And now my loop is sticking up in the air again. So I'm going to squish him down more forcefully this time. There we go. Scene cleaning again. Not sure what that means, but okay. Oh, spring cleaning again. Spring? You're a whole 6 months off, if not more. All right, so now we're wanting to bring this wire back around, and I barely have enough to bring this around again. Well, then it would be fall cleaning, would it not? Have we got enough? Maybe not. We're going to make it enough. Squish him down in there. Now I'm going to do something I don't normally do here because I don't have enough wire to wrap around all the way. I might be able to squish that down in there. Let's see. My kingdom for a 1/2 inch of wire. I don't know where there it is. So I had a busy day today. Went and saw my granddaughter play volleyball early this morning. Like I had to leave the house at 8:15. That is way entirely early for me on a Saturday. I prefer to sleep in, but that's when the game was, so that's where I went. And I came home and I did my bills and my budget for the rest of the month. There we go. This is not perfect, but I was able to get them tucked down in there. Flip these around a little bit. There we go. Hello, Annabelle. Welcome to the show. And there we go. Got our first little stick done. But then let's see, paid my bills, I did my budget, and then I raked some leaves out from around. Thank you, Annabelle. Raked some leaves out from around my heating and air conditioning unit outside so that they can come and change the filter this week. And I had several some as little as 2 feet tall and some as tall as 3 feet tall. And I think there was some that were over 6 feet tall, little trees that have sprang up around my house. So I went and cut all them down and hauled that all away. And then I replaced a window that my dog and my grandchildren have knocked out twice. They didn't break it. The dog broke it the first time. The last time they knocked it out, they just knocked it out of the frame. So I did a little extra. Hello, Jewelry Row. Dedication to my grandchildren. Well, I love the little buggers. I wish they'd waited, I don't know, another 3 or 4 years to start having them, but because my daughter was 6 when I married my now wife, and I had custody, and my now wife was pregnant with my oldest son. So we kind of thought once we got all the kids out of the house that we'd have some time just going to get her. Is she down the road from you? I thought my wife and I would have some time to just, be a couple. But my oldest son started having kids before he was even out of the house. My youngest son just left the house earlier in July, and my oldest son's up to 4 kids now. So I usually have, like tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to have 2. I went to one of them's volleyball game today, and tomorrow I'll be babysitting the 2 youngest ones. Well, Mom, and last night when I got home, all 3 of them were at my house. So yeah, I have to be dedicated to them. Hello, Tracy. How are you? That's an interesting question. I don't know what you consider into is, but I have a few. I spent 11 and a half years in the Marine Corps, so I've used a few. A romantic trooper. So when you're looking at your stones, of course, you want to take a look. I have one gun and I'm 10 years old. Oh, you're 10? Cool. Is it a little 22? Okay, Spy. Thanks. When you're looking at your stone, as you can see, this is my rhodonite. It's mostly pink on the back. It is much prettier in the front. It's long. Okay, what kind of gun is it? Do you know that? I'm going to use gold for this rhodonite, I think. And this time I'm not messing around. I'm getting 2 feet of wire. That's okay. But yeah, my oldest granddaughter is 9 or 10. I don't remember exactly. Can't remember if she turned 9 this year or 10. Okay, so I'm getting back on camera here. So I'm making my bail. My wire hitting everything around me. That did not bend right. Here we go. Do my 2 loops around. Do my 2 twists. Let's see. Ooh, we're going to want to do an extra twist or 2 for that one. hole's kind of low from the top. It looks like it's big enough to hold both my 20 gauge wires, so that's good. Go to the shooting range. So, yeah. Go around there. Point it up here. Turn it around there. And there we go. So, Tracy, how'd you find me? Get it back good around the front of my bail so that it is locked in there like we did on the other one. And we're going to come around bottom here. Let's see. See, now you've got your setup. I mean, you can do any kind of design you want after you've done this part. I mean, you could go around and just do a few. We'll do one of those in a minute. Looking for inspiration, so we're just going to do. So I brought it down to the bottom. We're just going to do some waves on this one. And when you're doing your waves, curves, whatever you want to call it, you want to overbend your wire so that the curve stays put. And now I'm just going to wrap this around here. And we're going to see, uh-oh, caught my corner. No, Diane, I am done with shows for the year. The only holiday one I really have is, well, unless one pops up. If somebody that I know is having a show, they can pull these apart some. Bend them over so it's a little more in the middle. It's on there pretty solid, even though that's kind of wonky at the top, but it's not going anywhere. Just a cool little elegant swirl, which of course now that just doing it that way gave me a whole lot of wire. You don't want to get your wires crossed when you're doing your bail. Just going to wrap it around there. Hi, Diane. I was answering your question and I didn't say hi. Sorry about that. I'm pretty much done for the year. I'm tired. See, you got to watch when they try to climb on top of each other. If somebody I know, yes, I did make a pun crossing my wires. Hi, Enchantress. How are you? Oh yeah, you better have it. You gotta have your ear protection. Don't like where that wound up. So we're gonna push it. When we still have a chance, push it over. And spread them apart a little bit. I'll tell you what. Here we go. Kind of a wide end. All right. Actually, I've got all of these sticks here that I'm supposed to be doing today because Tiff said she wanted to see sticks and she ain't here yet. And I can't send her a message or anything because it'll probably kill my show. So we'll see if she shows up later. But some of these will probably wind up in Santa's workshop. I haven't made anything specifically yet because I haven't been told. They haven't sent me any info. They just started the sign up. I saw the little advertisement to sign people up. And I'm like, well, I can give some Christmas presents to little kids here in town. That'll be fine. And when I offered, she's like, oh, I love it when local people do stuff. And then she told me that they're only allowed to buy for 13 and under. I'm like, how is a Santa's Workshop not allowed to buy for older kids? So she asked me if I would be willing to make jewelry for 14 to 18-year-olds. I'm like, well, absolutely. That didn't go where I wanted it. So what we're waiting for now is people to sign up, and she's going to let me know how many kids there are so I know how much jewelry I need to make. But like I said, I already figured I have, this is only, I mean, this set I bought on my birthday. And I only bought like 7 or 8 of them. So 2, 4, 6, 8. I might have bought the ones that I have on my table right here. But I have, oops, that went flying. But I have 4 more here, and I have 6 or 8 more in there. So I have a lot of these sticks. These I'm wanting to use for wand. I am going to try and figure out how to make some wands. And those, I've sorted through these, all these sticks and these. I've got, I think there's 7 in here, 7 more in here that I'm going to be making a necklace out of, making a waterfall kind of necklace with these points. Kind of put them on a chain, wire wrap each one of them, put them on a chain. Oops, I'm off the camera for what I'm trying to show. Sort of wire wrap each one and then put a, hook them to a chain with a jump ring and have like this waterfall of amethyst around your neck. That's what I've got planned for the other one. So I've got a lot of these, and that'll take care of some of them. And I'm considering, oh, we're all done with this one. Here's, no, we're not, because my bail got twisted. There we go. So there's what this one turned out to look like. Just some weird swirls to go. Is it tight enough? We'll tighten it up just a touch. Now with your waves and your swirls and your twists, you got to remember that this wire is only so long. And any bends or twists, see, that got a little loose on me. So it does need to be tightened up. Any bends or twists you do, it's going to shorten that wire. That is not working out well at all. Scratched my wire, so now I've got Sharpies back here. That needs to come off. Usually you can do that just with going like that with the edge of your pliers. And that happened because I was not grabbing it where I needed to grab it. But when you twist your wires in the back, it has an effect on the wires in the front. Other than tightening them, you can mess up your swirls. Now those two are not laying side by side, so that needs to go a little tighter. Squish that down. These are all just minor adjustments. You squish it down because it was sticking out too far. It's still a little scratchy, so. Yeah, I agree. He has become something to have to put up with, hasn't he? You just rub on a little bit until, there we go, until it's all nice and smooth now. No scratchies on my jewelry. It's not allowed. Now see here how the wire, I don't know if you can see. There we go. See how the wire's not down by the stone? That's making it a little wobbly up here at the top. So you just take the edge of your pliers and squish them down. That will both tighten them up and bring them closer to the stone. There we go. Sometimes they won't bend, so you just got to live with it. There we go. Rhodonite stick. See, I'm not liking that. It's moving too much. So we're going to bend it down with our pliers and force it down. There we go. That's better. Now it's not quite moving around as much. All right. There we go. All right, hang on just a second. My youngest son. Some years old, lived with us all the way up until July. And I get a message. Hey, Dad, how do you make your potato salad and your deviled eggs? Like, how many years have you sat in my house while I made my potato salad and deviled eggs? But no. Did you want to learn then? No. Good. It didn't kill anything. Thanks for the happy belated birthday, Jewelry Row. Marine Corps birthday was yesterday. Hang on, let me catch up on my chat. Let's see. Yeah, people are talking about naps. People are like, oh, you need to take a 20-minute power nap. No. If I don't take a nap for at least an hour, I'm dead. Then I feel like a zombie. A 2-hour nap is awesome. Yes, Tiff definitely works hard to keep him in line. Diane, weaving. I have tried weaving. Boy, howdy. I do not have the patience for that at all. My son was like, oh, you should make fancier jewelry. I'm like, nope, I'm perfectly happy with what I'm doing. On some pieces, I've had to do some minor weaving. But yeah, I don't have the patience. There's too many patterns. I screw up the pattern. And, trying to make something 9 inches long and I screw up at 6 inches and then I'm throwing it away. So no, I don't have the patience for that. I do this for fun and relaxation. If it becomes frustrating, angering, and a chore, then I don't want to do it anymore. Google weaving. Oh, I've Googled it. Believe me, I tried to step it up, but like I said, I tried it for 2 weeks straight and got absolutely nothing that was even close to looking nice. So I gave up because it was frustrating and made me angry. I have enough frustrating and anger making things in my life. I don't need any more. This is fun. I like doing it. I enjoy it. Hello, Carly. How are you? Yeah, I wish I had Marty time. Every time I think I'm going to have Marty time, I have a honey-do list or my grandkids show up. And I love them to death, but boy, howdy are they draining. How did I get connected to Matt's show? Well, I wanted to learn how to wire wrap. And while I was looking around, I mean, I saw the Back to Earth Creations, and I saw Lynn Ann, or however you say her name, and Alexandra Crafts, and then one of Matt's videos showed up, and I'm like, hey, he makes it look easy. So then I discovered he had lives, and then I discovered that he had auctions, and I love auctions. And there I was, and I just am myself when I get on there. That's my relaxing time. What do we want to do with the preonite? Let's do silver. You know what? I didn't have this out because I didn't want to use it, but I'm going to as soon as I figure out where it went. The very last, that is my 20 gauge, yep, the very last antique bronze that I have. Oh, sorry, vintage bronze. Nobody's been able to explain to me the difference between vintage bronze and antique on these wires, but I am down to my last few feet of this wire. This is my favorite wire. So I was going to see, I've only got like a couple of feet left. Be able to do one more stone maybe. But I need to make a barrel wire order, and I'm putting it off because I'm hoping I can make it past January so that the cost of that wire will go on to next year's expenses instead of this year's expenses. Crossing the wire. Because I am so close to making twice as much in sales this year as I did last year. So I'm hoping maybe when I go do my taxes, I will actually have a year where I can say I made a profit. Enchantress, I don't know about that. All right. So we got our bale set. This wire, this is kind of down far too, so we're going to go a few more twists. And it's still not quite far enough. A couple more. Oops. Stone down. Okay, I'm missing something. Okay, jewelry. As far as future sales, holiday gifts, yes. These are for future sales or holiday gifts. The Santa's Workshop, I might do a few of these for the Santa's Workshop. I'm seriously considering giving each child, kid, teenager, I guess I could say teenagers, but anyway, giving them each two. So that they can either have two gifts or they can have something to give to a friend. I'm getting behind on my chat. Okay. Thanks, Carly Stone, for the happy birthday. What about for the potato salad and eggs, Diane? I've lost. Last thing you said was Google it. Oh, no. Google potato salad and eggs? No. There is a Collins way of doing potato salad and deviled eggs, and you can't Google it. You have to learn from somebody who already knows how to make it. Anybody can Google potato salad. Ew. My potato salad was my grandmother's potato salad and deviled eggs. Slide it through the hole. Figure out where you want your bale to go. Stand it up so that it's where it needs to be. Watch your twist and twist that. You want to twist in the direction that all your other twists are, so you're not untwisting when you make your turn your bale the direction you need it to be. I mean, you can leave your bale like that if you want to use jump rings. I've gotten away from that. It's just easier to do it this way and have the bale already made and ready to put a string on. You just got to make it a little bigger. Okay, well, go feed him. I'll be on for a little bit longer anyway. Excuse me a second. All right, sorry about that. You're not in trouble. I'm just telling you that Googling a recipe ain't going to get you the good stuff. The good stuff I make. I grew up eating, for our holiday meals, we generally had meatloaf, potato salad, deviled eggs, what we called soup beans, and cornbread. That was our holiday meals. Every once in a while we'd get ham. Every once in a while we'd get turkey, but not very often. That's right. So, and for most nights of the week, we had the soup beans and we had fried potatoes and we had cornbread and whatever came out of the garden, whether it was out of the jar that we canned the year before or 2 years before, pickles and beets, or if it was fresh stuff out of the garden. And I have a tutorial on tumbles, which are rounded off stones with no holes. And I don't know if I'd have to go back and look. I use wet mustard. But let me write that down on my board. Let's see. Let's do it this way. No holes. All right. I have a lot of stones with no holes, so that won't be a problem. And actually, I'll probably do a couple with no holes because different shapes require different things. These would be considered bread and butter pickles, is the ones that we made. No, Dwayne, I buy the holes already drilled in there. I buy the stones, and how they show up is how I wrap them. So I have stones with no holes. Believe me, I have stones. You would not believe the stones that I have. If you'll go back and look at my craft room videos, you'll get an idea of the stones that I have. I have containers of stones because I tend to buy them faster than I can make them. We're going to come around the bottom here. Yeah, it's not really gripping the way I want it. So we're going to I was going to do my loop this way, but the wire is not really grabbing that corner very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my loop the other way, away from that corner, because then when I tighten the wire, when I'm done with my loop, I'm on the opposite side of the stone. So when I pull it around this way, it's going to tighten up this corner. And then when I go back here and bend and tighten, I can tighten it up even more. So that is what dictated me making that loop in a clockwise instead of counterclockwise, which I intended to do a counterclockwise. But because this wire is not quite grabbing that corner as well as I would like for it to, like I said, I will fix that in a little bit. So now the question is do I want, I'm going to go opposite day. We're going to go counterclockwise with the one in the middle. The more you pull on your wire, look at that, got my wires twisted. The more you pull on your wire, the smaller your loop becomes. I'm going to go around, and I've got enough wire. I'm going to do another one. This one, we're going to go this way with it. Yeah. So now I've got 3, and it tried to do it again. I'm not holding it flat enough. There we go. You can just back your loop out and redo it if you didn't get it quite right. Would 4 be too much? I don't know. Let's see. Hello, Jenner. How are you? Nah, it looks all right. Ooh. But I don't have enough wire to finish my bail, so that loop is out. So just undo the loop, flatten your wire back out. Nylon pliers are good for that. Oops. So I'm not even going to put anything up there. We're just going to go right here, and we're just going to make our bail scarf starting right there. Because that looks pretty nice. Move that up a little bit. So you can also, before you tighten your wires down, you can move things around and get them in a better place for yourself. All right. And there we go. Let's see. No, it's just round wire, Carly Stone. The only twisting happens is if I do it. Yeah, quit calling yourself fat. You buy pre-twisted wire. Well, you see, I bought so many stones that I would like to do some square wire and some half round wire. I didn't know you could buy it already twisted, because twisted wire is kind of cool. I know how to twist it. An easy, simple way to twist it. Let's see. But I have put so much money into my setup for my craft shows and into stones, a lot of stones, way more than I intended to buy last year. This year I've done fairly well. Last year I was a crazy person. That I just don't have the extra money. Plus, of course, inflation, everything went crazy except for my paychecks. Paychecks didn't go crazy, but everything else is going crazy. We need you to go around one more, don't we? Nope, we need this one to go around one more. There we go. So, of course, things got a little tighter. So I just don't have the budget to buy, anything other than the wire that I already know how to use. So I just buy round wire. I'm going to say it does become a little frustrating when you see a design that you like on a tutorial for somebody and they're like, okay, what you need is half round wire. And I'm like, yeah, don't have half round wire. So all of the wire in all of my tutorials and in all of my pictures that you see on Facebook, everything is just plain round dead soft wire. All right, why is my eyeballs not working? There we go, tucked down, leaning over a little bit. That's cute. Let's tighten this down a little bit. Flat with the stone, tight with the wire. That keeps you from doing what I did with the gold wire on the other one. Make sure the bail is fairly straight. And there we go. There's our preonite stick. Okay, I have such a mild-mannered persona. Well, thank you. I did not acquire that in the acquired maturity. I thought you said acquire that in the military. No, I did not acquire that in the military. Pretty much, I mean, I have always tried to be a decent guy. I don't know about a nice guy. Thank you, Jory. But as far as mild-mannered, I've kind of always been mild-mannered. I can get hot. Oh, I had a temper. Whew. That started going away. Oh, probably when my kids were about 4. My oldest son was 4, so my daughter would have been 9. I started really working on my anger, my short fuse. There are still some things that short fuse me, but not everything short fuses me anymore. And I have mellowed with age. I'm too tired to get mad. But it does happen. And I am, well, as you've guessed, just from me talking to my grandkids, the thing is, I like all kids. I was a youth group leader and Sunday school teacher in our church. I like all kids. So you don't want to mess with kids around me, whether I'm related to them or even if I don't even know them. You just don't want to be messing with kids when I'm around because I have no patience for that. So I see some of you guys' stuff on Facebook. Is anybody actively rapping? Or actually, is anybody actually making anything? Because I love seeing well, hello, Yum Pie. How are you? That's a lot of waves. Okay. I don't know who Gussie is. My dad grew up in the mountains of Kentucky. Yes, I saw your knitting today. I was talking to other people. I have a whole crowd of people right now. You design, but you don't wrap. Ah, cool. See, you people that actively sit down and design your jewelry, I have a lot of respect for you guys because I can't do that. Like when I picked up this Preonite piece, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. None. I don't know what I'm going to do with the next piece until I've got it in my hands. Sometimes I have particular pieces and I wrap them in my head, especially if I'm trying a new design that I think is cool. I wrap them in my head. I am very good at visualizing. I can see where the problems are going to be and figure out a way around them. But I can't draw, and like I said, I was talking about, making wands. I've got some sticks, and I've got an idea. The first thing I have to do, because I bought this package, it's just a package of different kinds of wooden dowels. And I've got little square ones and big square ones and round ones. And I thought there was rectangles in there. I mean, not rectangles. Nope, there are no, what's the word I'm looking for? Three-sided triangle. But these sticks, I'm not going to wrap every inch of wood to make my wands. So the first thing that has to happen is they have to get stained. So I bought my stain this weekend, and maybe next weekend I'll stain a few of them, and then I'm going to try and make magic wands. And like this, I was showing you my necklace idea. That's just an idea that popped into my head. I don't know if you'd call that a design or not. But I do a lot with all the driving that I do in my 18-wheeler, I have a lot of time to think. So most of the time, if I'm working on something, a piece of jewelry that I want, I do not have a wand example because I haven't made one yet. And all of the tutorials that I've found that tells you how to make them are either way more complicated than I could ever do, using all kinds of neat tools and stuff, or they're like, oh, you just glue this here and glue that there, and I don't want glue. I don't want to glue anything. I want everything to be wired. So I've got an idea, and hopefully that's what wintertime is for. To stock up and to try new things. Because in the summertime, between craft shows and my son this year, he started taking jewelry. He does, he runs a booth at music festivals. He sells the word that's coming is tarps, but that's not right. Tapestries. He sells tapestries and t-shirts and hats and all this stuff. And depending on the size of the show, he can have anywhere from 5 10 by 10 canopies together all the way up to 10. And he does those. They're the electric dance music, EDM festivals all over the country. He's in Orlando this weekend, and he started taking my jewelry and selling it in his booth because a lot of his friends saw it and liked it. So he started taking it with him, and he's doing pretty well. And then I have my craft shows. So sometime this year, especially, I was doing manic wrapping, I guess you could call it, because I was running out of stuff and he was running out of stuff. So I was wrapping everything I could get my hands on as fast as I could every minute that I had a chance to, because can't sell if you don't have it. So this winter, I was going to say, some of you saw on Facebook already that I made a bunch of stuff last week on Monday, because I was in my truck for my 34-hour break, and I take my stuff with me. So I made some that I specifically made for him to take with him, and I made some that I'm going to put back on my racks, and I'm just stocking up. A dedicated craftsman. I have not done a Renaissance fair. I would love to do that. As far as my son goes, he buys all of his stuff already made. So he's just selling it. There's a guy that he works for that owns the business, and that guy does the decisions on what gets ordered. He has artists that he's contracted with that come up with the designs, and then he has companies that put those designs on whatever piece of clothing or whatever, and then they ship them to him. Yeah, I've never been to a Renaissance fair, but they look like they would be hilariously fun. And yeah, this stuff would sell there probably. I don't know if the guys in the craft booth have to dress up in Renaissance time clothing or not. Get our little citrine here. He's a little guy. I think gold will work on him. He's kind of gold already. It'll blend in well. We're going to use a 24 gauge gold for this one. He's so small. And my son is like, well, since I'm selling your stuff, why don't you not do craft fairs? I'm like, they give me a reason to get out of the house. I've spent $2,000 or so on getting tables and tent and all the stuff I need to do craft show, and they're fun. Now I am going to, I have never wrapped, the only thing I've ever used 24 gauge for is making trees of life. And Dwayne, if you're still here, that's something that we'll be doing a tutorial. Well, actually, it'll probably take 3 tutorials. Doing a tutorial on a tree of life, which is good to use on stones with no holes. How far down is my hole? It's pretty good ways. But I like trees of life. They are fun. They are a little chaotic getting all those limbs to do what you want them to do, but they're fun and they're really pretty when they come out. That one that I did on Monday, ooh, which side do I want? The one that I did on Monday did not turn out as I expected. I kind of like that. It came out more of a haunted forest tree than a tree of life. But I liked it. All right, we've got my bale done. We've got it locked in good. Now this one I'm going to go. No, that's pretty smooth. So we're going to bring it over here and around this way. Oops. 24 gauge is a little bit touchy. High booth fees, high insurance, high costume costs, and specialized booths required. Well, yeah, I knew the actors dressed up in period clothing. I just didn't know if the people in the craft booths had to. Oh, see, that insurance part is something I don't have. Let's see. What do I want to do with my pretty little citrine here? We've done waves, we've done loops. Curve these down a little bit. We're going to swing it around here. We're going to do a little loop there. And a little loop there. Opposite directions. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm liking this 24 gauge. We're going to loop that around here. Bring it up here. I got enough wire. Let's do a little bit of a spiral here. It's going to be off center because I made my first loop in the wrong spot. Oops. Wonder if my wife is cooking dinner tonight. Yeah, that is not anywhere near where I want it. Okay. Well, the one good thing about 24 gauge wire is you can undo it and straighten it back out, I think. Ow. That was a notification for something. It hurt my ears. Yes, that was a rooster. See, when I'm driving down the road, jamming to whatever tunes I'm jamming to, I needed something for a notification that would be out of place, not blend in with the music, be loud enough that I would hear it, and not be part of the background noise. So I chose a rooster because, yeah, and now I've mangled this loop. Well, that loop just became a really wonky one. I'm off the camera, sorry guys. A professional, hi, that Riz? Rise, how are you? And a professional knitter, as in like knitting sweaters and such? Or do you mean something else? Or were you talking to someone else? Because I don't knit at all. I've got my best friend's wife is a knitting maniac. She has more yarn than I have stones. And everywhere she goes, she buys more yarn. But I don't knit at all. This is the only craft I really do, other than working on cars. See, that does not look good at all. So, see, you guys get to see me cut wire. I am not a fan of the 24 gauge and trying to wrap anything, so we're going to go up to 20. I still think the gold looks good on here, but we're going to go up to 20 gauge. Can't get the camera wide and the chart next to it. I don't know what you mean, Enchantress. Hello, Angela. How are you? I hope you just showed up. Yep, you just did. There's your hi. This is kind of small. I'm going to use about 18 inches of wire. You know what? This is something that I just started doing. I'm just going to do one wire here. So I'm not going to have my double wire because this stone is so small. He's such a little guy. I'm just going to have one wire. So I'm going to start my bail right here. See, I only got a couple, 3 inches, 2.5 inches of wire on this end. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my bail like I normally would. Bring this wire around. So now I have this little short leg. And then I'm going to make my twists here. Get it down far enough. And actually that doesn't matter. I'm going to do 3 or 4 here. And then I'm just going to trim off this little excess. Squish him down so he don't poke anybody. Normally when I do this, I put him up closer so that when I want him. So what I'm going to do with this, okay, I've got this little sharp thing here. So I'm going to make sure that it goes on the back of my stone. I'm just going to run the wire through my stone like so. And find my little sharp corner. There it is. So I want that to be next to the stone so that it's gone. Boom. Do my twist here so that it's in the direction I want it to be in. Bring this around back like I would normally do and run the wire down. There we go. Pot roast. Oh, yeah, you're in California. I was like, you should have started a pot roast hours ago if you plan on eating it tonight. Hello, hallelujah. And thank you for stopping in and saying hi. So basically what I've done now is I've made a single wire to wrap with. I still got a nice bail. Yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it, Angela? And thank you for my talking about my voice. It's just my voice. It's a little rougher today than it normally is because of my coughing, but Diane, I took a slug of moonshine about a half an hour before the show, and I've coughed once. I'm bringing this around. I did a little loop at the bottom, and I'm going to do what I was wanting to do with the other wire. Just make a nice swirl on here. I need it to end there. I don't want it to go past the edge of my stone, but I want it to be as big as I can make it. Oops, made a boo-boo. Get over there. All right, here we go. Then we're just going to run it around here. And you know what? I think I'm just going to end it right there. I got a whole lot of extra wire, but I kind of like that. It's cute. I guess I could come around one more time. Do a very small loop up here. Use up some of that excess wire. And then scarf it like normal. Except it's a lot easier with one wire because you just grab a hold of it and go, and it just spins right around there. Still have to make sure it doesn't climb on itself. And I think that's about enough. So we'll trim that off right there. Bend him in and tuck him down. Straighten out the bail a little bit. Tighten him up a little bit. See, I pulled it tight and it moved my loop. I'd like this to be a little farther down, so we're going to try and squish him down a little bit. There we go. And there's my little teeny tiny citrine. Look at him. Ain't he cute? Oops, he falls over though. Squish him down a little flatter. Move the bail up and bend the bail up a little bit. Straighten it back out again. No Sharpies. I haven't ever tried to zoom. Ooh, there we go. So he's kind of cute. I mean, he's little. Look at that. He's the length of a quarter, but he's only about half a quarter wide. Let's see, let me catch up. I think I missed a few. And there it is. Figure out how to scroll back up to see what I missed. Okay, it changed your name, hallelujah. So who are you? Oh, a strong point for being a streamer is my charming and soothing voice. Well, the great inflections in my speech patterns has to do with, I was telling you earlier, I grew up, my dad grew up in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. And at 16, he moved to Indiana, which is where Mom lived. And they met and they got married. And my dad had this annoying habit of moving from Kentucky to Indiana. If I spent a whole year in one school, it was shocking. We always moved into the same few county areas. So I went to a lot of the schools with kids that I knew from the time I was young, but I spent about half my childhood in the mountains of Kentucky and the other half in the farms of Indiana, east of Indianapolis. And I learned real fast that other kids like to laugh at my accent, whichever end I was on. In Kentucky, they laughed because I had sounded like a Yankee, and in Indiana, they laughed because I would sound like a hillbilly. I call myself a hoobilly, half hillbilly, half Hoosier. And then I joined the Marine Corps, and I spent 8 years in North Carolina. And then I spent 3 years here in Illinois. And then I went back to North Carolina. And then I moved to Illinois when I got out. So I have an interesting conglomerate of voices. And my wife was born in Florida. And she lived in Massachusetts for a while. And she's lived in Illinois. And she lived in Florida. So she has an interesting voice. And all she has to do is talk to her mom or one of her aunts in Florida. And in the next 2 days, she's got a Southern accent. And I thought it was all gone. I have lived up here for over 20 years. But I was in Aldi's picking up some snacks for the grandkids. And I don't remember why I made a comment to these ladies, but I made a comment to these ladies. They're like, "Oh, we love your accent." And they were from down south. And I'm like, I didn't know I had an accent anymore. But apparently I do. So I have a very conglomerate voice. And I like doing voices. So I have that thrown in too. Well, thank you, Jewelry Row. Wait a second. Okay. Slug of Elixir? Or is that supposed to be elixir? Where can one get moonshine? Well, Jewelry Row, if you're not in a dry county, I mean, you can get what they call moonshine at Walmart. If you want to get the good stuff, you got to go to a liquor store. What I have here is distilled in Sparta, Kentucky. It's Neely Family Distilleries, authentic Kentucky moonshine. My son bought this for me while we were down there. 120.2 proof. That is some powerful stuff. And I can't really read through the moonshine, so I'll read it for you. The back of the label says that Jesse Neely formed the habit of shooting at all deputy United States Marshals who came to arrest him. I can't read it because it's only a half a bottle. When it's a full bottle, you can read it easier. But anyway, this says, let's see, 11 generations. For 11 generations. Right there, 11 generational family recipe. Distilled and hand bottled by the Neely family in Sparta, Kentucky. So this is actual, and it is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the highest proof alcohol you can sell. And my son bought that for me 3 years ago, and there's still a half a jug left because, whoo. Well, hello, Jinrin Games. How you doing? Well, thank you. I'm a truck driver, so I try to do at least one of these a month. Cures your ills, you forget. That's right. I don't know. Hallelujah. Somewhere along there you said that you had changed your name. I don't know if I know you or not. But yeah, I'm a wire wrapper, Jinrin. Welcome to the show. Glad you stopped by. Oops, wrong way. So during our chat, we've done 4 of these. Let's see if we can move the camera over a little so that when I blow it up, they all stay in the middle. And there's what I have created today. As far as precision wrapping, I mean, I don't know. I had somebody tell me after watching one of my tutorials, they're like, you make it look so easy. And I didn't want to tell her that, hey, it is, to me, I find this very easy to do. My hardest part is deciding, wow, my chat is flying and I am way behind. My hardest part is deciding what I want to do with a stone. The easiest part is buying the stones. I seem to have no problem buying them. Let's see. Showing the middle third. No. There's, let's blow it the wrong way. Let's go back out. I mean, there's the edges of my camera that I can see. So I don't know if it's the middle third or not. As I say, I had it set up and I had it where it was horizontal instead of vertical. I think I figured out how to get that done. But while I was messing with my laptop trying to get it to come on because it did not want to play nicely today, I finally got to where I could get to YouTube so I could see the chat without reading it on my phone, which is really annoying because it's teeny tiny at the bottom. My phone had turned itself off, and when it turned itself off, it shut itself off from my live stream, so I had to do it all over again, and I was in a hurry because it was already like 4:02 and I was supposed to be hitting the start button, and I finally got my computer up, and when I got to the camera again, it's had me back on horizontal. So I don't know. Or is this vertical? Maybe that's the problem. I need to change it to horizontal. I don't know. I haven't messed with TV knobs in so long I can't remember which is horizontal. But anyway. But anyway, so right now my phone is standing upright. Oh, yeah, I've lived, like I said, I lived in the mountains of Kentucky. I lived in Indiana. I lived for a lot of years in North Carolina. So, yeah. Jewelry Row, it wasn't Lejeune. It was the air base across the river from Lejeune called New River Air Base. I am a helicopter engine mechanic. As a Montanan, I don't think I have an accent. I'll bet you do. If you came over here, you'd probably have an accent. Angela, make hair grow on your chest. I got plenty of that already. Well, moonshine, I mean, the reason that it was stills and made in the little hidey holes back in the mountains somewhere is because they did not pay taxes on it. That's the only thing that made moonshine illegal, except during Prohibition, was the fact that they didn't run it through the proper channels and pay the taxes on it. That's why it was when they say the revenuers are coming to get your still, those were the tax revenue agents, because you were making moonshine and not paying the government their fair share. So, I don't know, it actually started showing up. I noticed it showing up in liquor stores about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. I mean, that's a pretty good sized jug, but you can buy a quart jar. But like I said, you got to watch out for the proof because the real stuff is over 100 proof. That's 120. The real stuff is over 100 proof. You go to Walmart and they've got like, 40 proof. Well, then that's not moonshine. It's just basically because the only difference between that moonshine in that bottle and bourbon is the fact that it's not aged in a charred oak barrel. That's what gives bourbon the brown color. So this stuff is right out of the still. It's not put into the burnt barrels. That's what gives you the brown. That's what gives most whiskeys, especially bourbon, their brown color. And so basically, I mean, if when the companies that were making the moonshine were willing to pay the taxes on it, it's still moonshine. It's just not illegal moonshine. And they call it moonshine because it's clear. It looks like moonshine. Yeah, Everclear's a little rough. Hallelujah. I'm way behind on the chat, so I'm sorry. But that the slug that I took today is the first drink I've had, alcoholic I've had in months. I'm just not that big of a drinker. I did all that stuff long time ago in Marine Corps. I don't know either. But I don't know if YouTube allows it or not. We'll find out when I try to upload this video. I'm doing simple clean wraps that really showcase the gemstone. Yeah, I'm really good at simple. I'm technically challenged too. I do not understand at all why my computer wouldn't even go on, it wouldn't go online. I ended up looking in my Wi-Fi. I think I'm at the bottom finally. My computer and my phone was attached to the same Wi-Fi channel in my house. And I have a separate Wi-Fi channel in my house that my phone is supposed to automatically connect to, and it doesn't. So I turn my computer off, move my phone to the other one, and when I turn my computer back on, it works. So that's something else I'll have to check before I start going live. Three arms. Hallelujah. All I have is a ring light that I bought at Walmart. It's an Olney or Oni or something like that. There it is, on. ONN. And it's a ring light, and in the middle of the ring light, it has a holder for your cell phone. So I just put it in there, and it shows through the ring, and it lights up the table. Yes, that is what they call white lightning. Moonshine, white lightning. Yeah, different recipes of moonshine has slightly different tastes, but you have to have a tongue for it. A lot of people, it all tastes the same. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there's any gentlemen here, but thank you, Angela. And yes, like I said, I do all of my wrapping is simple. Like I said, the most complicated thing that I do is a tree of life. But I do like to showcase the stone. Normally, I wouldn't have done as much on this one as I did, but I'll put that one in with my sons, because he said that the people at the EDM, I don't have an Etsy account. Hallelujah. Oh, okay. Well, you are a gentleman. All right, awesome. I don't do Etsy. I have a Facebook page called Marty's Moccasins and Things, and I haven't sold anything off of there. And nope, my Instagram is Marty's MARTYS _ rocks ROCS. And I just started that earlier this year. So that's another thing that I have to do through the winter time here is I need to go and, hey Dwayne, thanks for coming by. Cassidy Afton. Hello Cassidy, how are you? And thank you. But yeah, this one, he said that the people at the EDM, they know all about the stones and they love the stones, but what they're looking for is the art. So they're looking for crazy wire wrapping, They don't care about the stone. They want the wire. They want the wire art more than they want the stone. Me, I find it difficult to cover up the stone with a bunch of wire. But back to my Facebook and my Instagram, I haven't sold anything off of either one of them, so they don't get a lot of time. I don't give a lot of time to Facebook and Instagram, but now that it's wintertime and I'm not doing craft shows, and my son, because most of the time, a lot of the weekends this year, my son would take his wife with him to the EDM show, so I was watching the kids, and I can't do anything when I'm watching the kids because there's 3 of them, and 2 of them are mobile, and the other one is up on his knees and trying, but I cannot multitask when there's children, especially since the 2 of them are glued to me. The 2 that are mobile go wherever I go. We got one of those fancy little net things you can run across your living room. It took them about an hour to figure out how to crawl underneath that thing. So we only close it now to keep the dog where we want him. But yeah, in the kitchen, when he was 2, my grandson figured out how to use the two-step stool, because it folds up and it's in the corner. He'll pull it out and unfold it and drag it over, and he will stand there and help you stir by grabbing your wrist and stirring with you. And he wants to use it. He already knows how to push the buttons on the microwave and on the dryer, and he's my little helper. Well, thank you, Cassidy. So when I have the kids and my wife is at work, I can do nothing but watch my little ones. So I don't get anything done on those weekends. And then I go to work, and all I want to do is go to bed because I'm exhausted. But I love the little buggers. But so now it's wintertime. This is, as far as I know, this is the last show for my son for the year. My last show was a bust because I didn't go and set up. Lost $50 on that deal, but the wind was blowing at 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yes, I will be going to Matt's. Haha, it shows up on my phone before it shows up on my computer. Interesting. But I'll be going to Matt's. Yeah, we're winding down now. And yeah, I've got so much to do, but I need to scrub my Facebook because I haven't even been keeping up with the Facebook on what I've sold and what I haven't. So I have to just basically delete everything on there, take new pictures, and upload them all. Well, thank you. Hallelujah. It was nice meeting you too. I have tutorials on this channel as well if you want to learn, and they are geared towards my grandchildren, because I have a granddaughter and 2 or 3 grandsons that are interested in doing this type of thing. So they're the very basics, and I try to make them as clear and concise as I possibly can so anybody can figure out how to do it. So take a look at those as well. And I'll be doing a couple more of those tomorrow, recording them tomorrow. So sometime during the week here, we're going to look at 2 more videos on drilled stones and finish up that series, because they have stones that are drilled all the way through, and they have stones like these that are drilled at the top, across the top, like this one. This is the one I'm going to wrap in my tutorial, and he's drilled up at the top there. They have them drilled all the way through. I don't have one of those here with me at the moment. And they also have ones that are drilled at the top like that. And they all take different strategies to wrap. Let's see, what have I got here? There's one. I have stuff laying all over the place. I think this is one. Yep. And see, this one here is pretty agate. Ooh, he's got all kinds of cool things going on. But he's drilled straight through. Can't see the hole. There we go. He's drilled straight through. So that's a totally different strategy. I've already done one on drilled straight through. And I don't remember what the other one is. But anyway, that's my plans for tomorrow. I haven't seen a thing for him, but he should be coming on anytime between now and an hour from now. You know how he is. I'm glad I have my own craft room too. All right, so we're going to shut it down. You all have a wonderful weekend. Couple of weeks, I'll have another one of these. I don't know what I'll do. I wasn't positive what I was going to do here. Like I said, somebody mentioned sticks, but she never showed up to watch me do anything with my sticks. So, good night, everybody. Have a great day, great evening. If you're going to Matt's, I'll see you there. Bye-bye.